Welcome back, Fire Tribe. Tuesday, March 18th. Dave, I'm just going right into it.
What did I do?
Good weekend for you. Good weekend for the boys.
Playing better.
You know how many in a row that is?
0. No. 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
If we can just play the
Good for
worst,
United.
we can just play the worst team in the world every game, we'll be fine.
And I was telling Dave, but Phil, remember that video I sent you? There's that guy he's like popping off on Instagram. He hasn't cut his hair in almost 200 days because he won't cut it until Man U wins 5 in a row.
That's right.
This is the first opportunity they've had in 200 days to win 5 in a row.
Who did they play this weekend?
Dave?
Honestly, I forget. It's somebody good though.
What a shitty fan. Oh, it's forced away.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
All right, so Liverpool. Another topic to talk about. They went from winning everything to now literally only being able to win an EPL, which frankly they've probably already won. So Salah's probably going to be a goal machine, right? I think you're the one who said it. Look out for Salah. Obviously, he's already good, but he's got to go for the Ballon d'Or now. That's all that's left.
I honestly think he's chalked. Doesn't matter if they win the EPL, he's not going to.
You think he can't win the
Ballon
award?
d'Or. No. And we've talked about it throughout the year. Yes, his numbers are there, but he has not produced for the team outside of just numbers. And Liverpool has felt that when they've been in a pinch, whether it's in the Cup, whether it's in the UCL. And yeah, Liverpool's noticed that. So I don't think Salah can win the Ballon d'Or anymore.
It's a rough 2 week stretch. It's a rough 2 week stretch for that team.
I think I saw that Salah has 9 finals with no open play goal.
Of various tournaments. So you're saying in the last 9 tournaments in general, finals, he has no goals except for PKs.
Does he have a goal in a final?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know, but you're going to piss off that Liverpool guy.
Yeah.
He keeps saying
You're gonna make a lot of people mad
Piss
with
you
those
off,
comments.
buddy.
We love Salah though. He's still great. We love him.
Yeah.
And then Leicester, last little piece of news that I heard. Get this one. They lost their 7th straight home game without a goal. That is a EPL record. They are the first team to ever lose 7 home games in a row without scoring a goal. That's 6 overall, but that's 7 at home.
There's no Vardy party.
Look what they've done to my boy.
I think
My boy Rude. He doesn't deserve this.
I think they've probably, it doesn't matter, they're bottom 3, they're going to be bottom 3, but I think they're far enough ahead of Southampton. They started well enough that they're not going to drop behind them. I don't even know, the point difference is still fairly large, I think. I don't have the table in front of me. But, I mean, they're finishing bottom 3. They're really bad. They
may never score again.
They can't score a goal. I mean, it just doesn't look like anyone on the team can score a goal. It's not good. It's not good. All right, let's jump in, though, guys. Let's jump in. Are we ready to go?
Just before we go,
Sure.
Salah has now played 11 finals for his club and country without scoring a goal. That's not a PK.
Okay, I was going to say a goal at all.
11?
PK.
11. Apparently the goal against Tottenham in the Champions League off that ridiculous handball. He scored a PK.
3 years ago? 4 years ago?
2019.
6 years ago?
So,
5-6 years ago?
1 penalty goal in 11 finals. So
We still love you, Salah. You're still our Egyptian king. But Marmoush is the prince, and hey, Marmoush be coming.
say goodbye to the Ballon d'Or.
Marmoush be coming. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that award goes. You never know.
Yeah.
All right, team review. Let's just start off with a team review. How did we do in Gameweek 29?
Where's it going?
It's just going to be the whole screen.
Oh.
I'm just getting us out of the way because let them see the madness that is our Fireside squad. Dave, tell the people, how did we do in Gameweek 29?
We had some ups and downs, strikes and gutters, but we did end up above the average again, which was 40. We had 45, which we'll take. It's not our best week, but
Tough.
we did. Our boy Sells missed out on the shutouts, only got us 1.
10 minutes left, man. They collapsed.
Kirkes solid again with 4. Nikola Milenkovic with 11 with a goal and an assist for Forest. We do like that.
Mm-hmm.
We brought in Michaelenko from Everton. No return from him, only 2 points. Same with Savinho, who put up a big fat goose egg because he got subbed off before 60 minutes and a yellow card.
Had a bunch of chances too.
So that didn't work out. Matoma, Cliverts, no returns from them. Brian Mbumo continues his good form with 6. And then up front, we captained Erling Haaland, which got us 14 points, which we really needed. Raul and Wood, no returns from them, 2 points each. So with the number of guys that didn't really do anything, still ending up above the average, I think we'll take on an off week like that.
Yeah, and the painful part is we did our darndest to try and get Bruno into the squad. We felt like he was going to have a decent week, couldn't afford him, and he ended up having a really, really good week, and that hurts because we did want to put him in there. We just couldn't get it done. So,
but we didn't use any chips to kind of survive the blank.
Exactly.
We've set ourselves up for success. So
right, we took the hit this week to hopefully set ourselves up in the future. But Bruno didn't make it feel good. Didn't.
Kirk is three apples in a row.
We'll take that.
Yeah,
I like that.
We take it.
That boy.
All right, awesome. So we're going heroes and zeros today. It's a good week for it.
Heroes, zeros.
It was a good weekend. Let's talk about it. We'll start with our heroes. So, a guy that I love, actually, an ex-Leverkusen man, Bernard Leno. Got an assist this week.
What the hell?
He enters the coveted list of only 5 goalies this year with an assist.
There's been that many?
There has been that many. There are 5 goalies that have an assist. Obviously, Ederson has 3, which is pretty ridiculous. I can find that list for you if you want, Dave. I don't have them offhand.
I know Pickford has 1.
I know there is 5 goalies. I don't have them offhand. Actually, I'm not going to look it up. Just trust me. I looked it up earlier.
I believe you.
So, great week for him. He was the 3rd scorer, 3rd highest scorer on the week, 13 points. So he had the shutout. He had the assist. Not a lot more to say. That's if that's not a hero performance from a goalie getting an assist, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Probably saving a PK, but
yeah,
or that
would have been good, but they didn't give one up. Fulham.
They didn't.
Listen, I didn't bad talk Fulham last week. That's not what I did. All I said was Fulham is an average team. I said they're in the middle of the table. That makes them average. But what I elected to not think about is Chelsea and them are only 4 points apart right now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. That's 4th place to what, like 8th place or 7th place?
9th, yeah.
9th, 4th to 9th. They 2 wins, Chelsea 2 losses. They could be in 4th place. Obviously, there's a lot of teams in between there, but so credit to them. I don't want to discredit Fulham having a good season, but that was a good game by Leno.
Yeah. Yeah, the middle of the Premier League is Bournemouth's in 10th, and they have 44 points.
That's exactly.
They're 5 points behind Chelsea.
Chelsea could drop out
somehow in 4th because they stink. But
they could be in 10th by the end of the season at this rate. It's pretty crazy. Dalot, Dave, I'm sure you'll like this one.
why? What did he do?
Dalot with 11 points, man. I mean, I'll give credit to all of Man U players, all of Man U back line, because we did talk the Ligt last week.
You did?
But Dalot, the assist, I mean, he's got to be top of the list.
Yeah, I'm very critical of Diogo Dalot in real life football for various reasons that I won't go into and waste our entire episode on. But yeah, you did call out the Man U defenders last week, so.
Yeah, I mean, it was less mean. It was more knowing that Leicester's just horrific right now.
Yeah.
Also, it wouldn't be an episode unless Phil dropped his mic almost. We caught that.
We
Don't
caught
worry.
it.
We saw that. We saw that.
I saved it though.
Yeah, but his move to actually get that cross off, nice little move there on the outside.
And it was a great ball
Credit where credit's due, man.
and a fantastic finish by Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, great team effort, but
The rat himself.
he was fantastic. He was fantastic. Now the real defensive hero of the week. I think we're all in agreement here.
It's got to be Milenkovic, right?
It's got to be. How can it not be? Put that man in forward.
I mean,
That finish was insane.
yeah. But you don't see a goal and an assist for defenders a whole lot. So I think we mentioned he's kind of a mainstay, and like for his schedule is really good still. Or they just got out of their rough patch, so they're going into the good part of it. Yeah, I think he has returns in 5 of his last 6. So
He has a return in 5 of his last 6.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. He's also still under $5 million. price-wise.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's possible, but
Almost 10% owned, so I think some people are catching on a little more if they didn't already know. I know Ina was probably the guy that a lot of people were picking up for this team, but don't sleep on Milankovic. He is a stud.
it's a threat off set pieces, and they play my squad
Yeah,
or
that's true.
in 2 weeks because of the break. But I don't think we're exactly a team that worries you attacking wise just
Yeah.
yet. So
The only
keep on rolling with him.
The only sad part about the whole situation is they got within 9-8 minutes of a shutout, which would have been just a crazy good week for him, and then they gave up 2 goals. Just up 4-0. I mean, sometimes you let down, I guess. I don't know. I was heartbroken because we were texting each other with like, I don't know, 25 minutes left. I probably jinxed it. That's on me.
You always do.
Yeah, I said, here we go, boys. Forrest gonna pick us up this week, and then Phil texted back with that's the most disappointing finish I've ever seen. So
You were trying to jinx United too. You were texting me about DeLig.
That one was
I'm
on
like,
purpose.
Just stop talking.
That one was
That
on
was
purpose.
stop talking. To me.
We lost 12 fantasy points between Milankovic and Sells with
Yep.
the 2 clean sheets and then the negative points for a goal. I guess 10.
Yeah.
So it could have been a 55.
55
Winner.
points and an average week of 40 would have really
Yep.
pushed us up the charts.
Yep.
That one's on me.
Yeah,
That one's on me.
Come on, Sean. Come on.
Yeah, I do what I do. Next, let's just stick with the theme. Let's just stick with the Man U theme. Dave, who do you think we're talking about, man? We all know. Best of the week.
Somebody that played well for Man United. Andre Onana.
Onana. Oh, jinx. Jeez Louise.
No, it's Bruno with his goal and 2 assists and single-handedly making United's attack somewhat viable.
He's the more I talk about him, the more it hurts that we don't have him in our roster.
Hey, we had him for a while.
We did, but we talked about getting him. We just couldn't
know.
make it happen.
That's sad. It's sad. He's cooking too. His last 4 weeks are pretty amazing.
Yeah, I was telling you, Dave, that, and I don't know if you were here when I said this, but this week he entered in the history of like each game week in FPL. He's the 4th most ever transferred in player for one game week. He was transferred in 1.892 million times. That puts him in 4th. 2 above him were Son, and then number 1 was Ronaldo in 2021, 2022. But Fernandez had the best return of any of those, 17 points. No one, I think the next best was Ronaldo, had 13 in that season, but pretty impressive. I mean,
What was his captain percentage? Do we know?
he was
I
maybe
didn't look it
3rd
up.
on the list. It was Haaland was 1, Wood was 2.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he was probably 3 then, 3 or 4. I don't know exactly though. I don't have that number in front of me.
Makes sense for Holland and Wood to be 1 and 2 though.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just he does so much work without the ball too. Like I think I saw he's 3rd for total ball recoveries among all midfielders in the Premier League.
Bruno is.
And like I think he's 3rd or 4th, and every other midfielder on that list is like a number 6 or a more defensively
that's what I was
focused
gonna
midfielder.
say. That's
So-
like a bruiser. It's not what he is though. He's a more of a technical guy.
I mean,
Wow.
he's everything for that team from start to finish. Like,
If he ever
you could
gets-
drop a bomb on that squad, and he's the only guy you hope was covered and somehow doesn't get blown up to smithereens. So,
I love that analogy though.
There's a few others. Most of them
No,
are
no,
most
Dave.
of them are hurt
Dave,
right
from
now.
an outsider point of view, there's no others. I like Ahmad. Ahmad, I would keep.
well,
too.
yeah.
I would keep him on.
So-
Well, yeah, I take it back. I wouldn't blow him
Xerxes?
all up. I don't want Xerxes.
He's balling lately.
You said yourself that you don't think he's that good.
I did say that a couple months ago, but he's balling lately.
He's a
Recency bias.
he is a baller. I don't know if his play style fits the
Recency bias.
EPL as much. It's maybe more of a La Liga type style.
He's
but I don't
playing a
know.
lot better though.
He is. I mean, he has
he
the
was-
skill.
He was fairly criticized earlier, but he deserves credit. He's playing a lot better.
By you.
Hey,
What do you want from me?
he just wants his team to be better.
We won
I
like
get it.
2 games
I
in
get
2
it.
months.
I get it. Okay. Someone that
Oh,
Phil loves.
Who?
who's that?
Another midfielder.
Who the hell do I love? We're talking Madrid players?
No, we're
I'm
talking.
kidding.
Oh, you got me. You got me with that one.
I got you with that one. No, he's probably the number 2
I think
of the week. Ilanga.
Ilanga.
And when you think about him, his whole trajectory in the FPL has been interesting. It's just random pop-off weeks. He had a stretch, I think, in the middle of the season where it was 5 or 6 weeks in a row. And I think that was Force's best time of the year when they went on that amazing run. But besides that, he's kind of been inconsistent. It's like a 2-3 pointer and then a 13 to 16 pointer. But obviously last week he had 2 goals. So whoever probably had him, that's a differential, 6.5% owned. So
Yeah, right?
that's whoever picked him up for that game. That's massive because that probably made you stand out in the rankings compared to some other teams. But I think he's second for our heroes behind Bruno for the week.
Yeah, 2 goals on 2 shots.
Yeah.
That's involvement.
That's
I mean,
the Forest way.
That's the
just
Forest
gonna
way.
say, we said it last time.
Yeah.
Forest they are the kings at little involvement with big rewards. It's like every week it happens. I think Alonga is quietly having a really, really good season. Let me see.
But it's like the stock market. You have to hit it at the right time. Because the man literally, like, you know, it's like when we talked about Palmer and we're like, oh, he's third in points, but half of his points came from like a 30-point.
25 points against Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like Alonga has given you a lot of 2-pointers, 3-pointers, and then he'll get that pop-off game. So if you time it right, obviously you might get a no-return game, but if you can take advantage of his pop-off games, you're probably happy with him.
He's the 11th best midfielder on the season in terms of points, which before the start of the season, I don't think anyone would have ever.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
No.
For his price tag, that's amazing.
Yeah, so good for him. I mean, that's great to see a player who no one really uses kind of popping off, and technically he's tied for 10th, so 10th, 11th with Matoma.
Glad to see him doing well. Former
Yeah.
United guy.
I'm just a big Forest fan at this point. I just love Forest, probably because I love Chris Wood, but
again, before this game, he did go 4 games with 2-2-3-3 points, and then before that, he had 12.
well,
So like that's the thing where you have to time it right.
agree to disagree. I agree to disagree because it's we talked about this before. When we're talking FPL, you're really playing for the most part. Well, not everyone. Sometimes you play these week-to-week games. But like when you're looking at it on a full course of a season, you try and remember like you don't always care. Unless you're using a chip, that makes a big difference. But over the course of a season, if you're looking at it from that perspective, he's doing great. If you're looking at it from like you need to win a week or use a chip this week, fair enough. Like yeah, the week to week, the inconsistency is very frustrating. There's a lot of players like that. Jalpejo, Raul,
Right.
I'm with you.
And I think the top managers are probably those that have figured out how to balance like those weeks where he was doing poorly, if you kind of leverage Kluivert or Dango when he had those good runs. Like I think that's when you go between those players, those cheaper players, and you get that right. That's when you're going to be soaring in the rankings.
Yeah, those top managers are also using black magic though. Did you see
Yeah,
the top team
yeah.
this week? Just who and how?
Well, the top team of the week is always bogus.
I mean,
Yeah.
You Back to the Future, they got that little book. Guaranteed. Some of these people got that little book. They're reading, how'd they do in, this time.
Yeah.
It's
Didn't
ridiculous. I don't know how they keep it up.
Yeah. Triple captaining Marmouche.
Marmouche.
Always cracks me up.
they played a bench.
So
they played a
random.
bench boost, and their bench was Leno,
Or-
De Ligt, Norgard, and Diogo Dalot.
Yeah.
Or
there
these
you go.
people have like 10 teams. They're just like, hey, this is my mess around
Yeah.
team. Like you do with the NCAA bracket.
Yeah.
You do a real bracket, and then just like, let me pick all the upset kind of bracket. So I think
back to
that's
you,
the
Sean.
same idea. Yeah.
Alonga, obviously a hero for the week. Massive returns from him.
Okay.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
There was another lightly owned guy that had a couple of goals this weekend.
Yeah, he had to step up thanks to his teammate who decided he just wanted to have a WWE match in a random week. And this guy had to step up, and he did. Strand Larson. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
he was the only show in town this week.
Only show in town. I think he also had 2 shots and 2 goals. Another guy who just makes the most of the opportunities
That's
he
called
gets.
efficiency, Sean.
Yeah, I mean,
called
that
the
is
wood.
something to call
The
it.
wood style.
Yeah, I don't know how repeatable this is for him, but Cunha is going to be back after this week, so that could help him. He was usable early on in the season.
He had
so.
a nice game early on. He had like 2 decent games separated. I actually had him for that game that he had. I remember the one game he was really good. I picked him up, and you guys were like, "What are you doing?" And then just magically, he had one of the best games of his season until this week. He had 2 goals again, I think, is what it was. What's funny is, and I was thinking about this, it didn't hit me till after, of course, 2020 vision's amazing. Without Cunha in a matchup like that, he was, to your point, the only show in town, but he was only owned 2.7%. I didn't think about it. Clearly no one else thought about it. He was always going to be the only guy to get a lot of chances against a really bad Southampton team. Kind of surprised we didn't even think about that, or anyone else, frankly, thought about it.
He's been pretty unusable.
Yeah.
With Cunha. Without Cunha, I mean, it was a different...
I would argue that with Cunha, you'd rather him have Cunha.
Yeah, same.
You think?
Cunha's their creator.
I feel like Cunha takes all the spotlight in terms of...
I think like the hindsight's probably feeding into that a bit.
Well,
but
of course.
It's a right thought there, but at the same time, he only had 2 shots. So, like, you play that game 10 times and maybe only scores a goal or 2 in 7
in every single game?
Maybe in every single game.
But, if he scores a goal or 2 in 7 out of 10, that's pretty good.
But are you playing those? I mean, maybe, yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, frankly, 70% goal scorer? I like that.
No, that'll work.
That'd be 30%.
No, if he scores a goal in 7 out of the 10 games, that's 70%.
I meant vice versa. Yeah. Obviously, yeah, 7 out of 10.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel you. I'm just messing with you. All right, one more guy on the list of heroes. And
too many heroes for a lame week.
It wasn't a lame week, though. It was a lame week because there were blanks. There were some good players. I mean, you got to think. When we're talking hero, I'm not just saying guys who had,
Everyone's a hero.
6 goals. No, these are guys that FPL-wise, they kind of came out of nowhere and they helped some people out.
Yeah, Phil, you needed heroes in this week. There's like half the league wasn't even playing. You need heroes.
Damn, Phil, why are you
I don't
trying
believe
to take
in
credit
heroes.
Trying to take food out of people's mouths, man?
I don't believe in heroes anymore.
Well, I think this guy didn't come out of nowhere, but I think Holland deserves a hero stature this week.
I would say he does, but
I fully disagree.
He was the most captain player and he scored. You know,
why do you disagree?
He came up big for people.
I think he's a hero because so many people relied on him this week.
Yeah.
If we're saying Holland scoring 1 goal at 14 million is hero worthy,
we're saying
then we suck.
We're saying it because he was captained by like 54% of players.
What? 54% of
hero.
players should have captained Bruno.
But they didn't. So that makes him the hero because he came through for 54% of people.
Phil just flipped that whole hindsight game around on you right there.
Make a comment on the video and tell them I'm right. Come on, Fire Trap.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Come on, Fire Trap.
In hindsight, we should have captained Bruno.
Listen,
but
did Haaland have the best game of any player on that team? No, it was Marmoush. Marmoush had the best game of the team, but Marmoush wasn't captain 54% of the time.
Okay, hey, all I'm saying is he can be your hero, but he's not my hero.
My hero.
No, don't even dare say.
Maybe we should talk about zeros so Phil doesn't.
Yeah, Phil, would it make you happy if we just talk about how
Doesn't
bad
get
people
more-
are?
Yeah, I'm in a negative mode today.
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's go to
Clearly.
zero.
Maybe Phil getting more aggro.
All right, well, perfect time
how you
to
do.
just stay on the Man City train. Frankly, we could probably say, what are you doing over there?
Trying to do a zero.
He's
Just do
He's
one
struggling.
hand.
Yeah, that's
Hey, Phil, one hand.
a
Gotcha.
3-pointer.
Gotcha. What's that game? Gotcha.
Zero.
we're not starting that.
So we're sticking on Man City. Frankly, the whole defense, I think, could maybe be a 0, but in particular,
Kujanov,
Kusanov.
he kicked the ball into his own net and kept everyone onside.
Here's what I want to say, though. He did have an own goal. I mean, what is he going to do? He was right next to the guy, hits off his leg, bounces in. That sucks. But if it was only standing there. If it was only should have been standing there. If it was only that, I don't think he deserves a 0. The problem is his entire team turned around and said, "Yeah, they're offsides." Oh, no. Wait, we have someone standing on our 6-yard box. I think he missed the memo on when the ball comes in and we touch it.
Positioning.
Move up. Step when we touch the ball. He missed that memo, and I think that deserves a 0.
It's freaking fast.
Yeah, I don't know what his age is. Obviously, he's not a starter for that team. He came in
20.
because of injuries, so it's unfortunate for him. But
they signed him for a gazillion.
Did they? Is
Yeah,
he Russian?
50 mil.
Is that Russian?
Middle East, not Middle Eastern. Geez. Eastern European.
Eastern European.
Yeah.
So they all have similar. Yeah, Kuzanov. That's probably more of a Eastern European name. Fair enough. But let's talk about another guy on that same team. I think the guy who really... So, yeah, let me make that clear. We talked about him because that was so poor. But frankly, I don't think he really affected many FPL players. So from an FPL perspective, not really a zero because no one played him. But that's just a bad play. And it hurt other players on the team by giving up another goal. So other players lose points for that. But the real guy on City who the zero is
Guardiola?
Yes.
Yep.
That's the one. That's the one.
You suckers who picked him
He's
up.
pretty heavily owned, so...
Yeah, that's a letdown. He's heavily owned. He didn't score. I mean, can't hate a guy for not scoring as a defender, right? You're not expecting it. But 2 goals, I mean, everyone had him. He's got to be, what was his percentage owned?
I think it's like 23 or something like that.
Yeah, that's top. That's got to be top 4. We just talked last week about Robinson, who was third most owned at like 24%. So
22%, yeah.
Yeah, I have to. He's 4, if not, he's top 5 guaranteed. So that hurts for people who put him in.
Sure does.
Sure does. All right.
Roscoe.
Phil, I'm going to let you take this one. There's a midfielder out there who's just been really struggling. He's really struggling. Really struggling.
The guy...
You could say that he's cold.
You could say that he's cold. Say that he's
the
cold.
guy I've hated all year.
Yeah, you've really been on his... I'm going to give him credit at the end of this, but you have been on him all year.
Everyone knows who we're talking about, and it's Palmer. And feel bad for him. He didn't play. I don't care at this point. He is a loser in FPL. There is zero value. There's zero value to having that dumpster fire of a player on your team until he shows you something.
Really going at him.
Granted, next week he could come out and score and all that stuff, but a lot of people have held on to him. And it's almost, this stretch is worse than what Haaland had earlier in the year. Maybe. I probably made that up, but it feels bad. Feels worse.
You can find out. He's on.
Yeah, do some math.
He's on. Palmer's on 6 games without a point return right now. 1, 2, 3. No, Haaland never had a 6-game stretch without a point return in this season. So this is a worse stretch than Haaland has had.
I was one of the people saying to stick with Palmer a few weeks ago because his talent and like they were playing it was Wolves and Leicester or Southampton and Leicester, and
it's the easiest schedule
there was.
If you can't do it against those 2 teams, you're now in the I have to see you do it and have a couple good games before I even think about jumping back in there.
Yeah, I think, some people are going to say, how can you give a guy a 0? He didn't play. I think that's a fair point, but the problem is we didn't know, and it wasn't told that he wasn't going to play until after the roster's locked.
Yeah.
So everyone, I think he's owned 51.9%. So that many people probably had him in their lineup, and they all lost on that. That's why I'm not saying it's fully his fault. An injury is an injury, but for FPL purposes, that is awful. That happened. So it's unfortunate. But before we move off him, I do want to give the guy a little credit just to simmer you down just a little bit. Let me find the note on it, though. All right.
Get rid of your notes on
First,
on
he's
his
only 22.
credit.
Okay, he is a young player. I understand he's got all the talent in the world. Just saying he's still a young player, right? So he's going to go through these stretches of poor play. I think that's fair. He is second in points for mids still. He's still second. Listen, we're talking full season, second in points for mids. Some people like to say, he's only good because of PKs. You know how many PKs he has this year?
Probably like 5 or 6.
3. He only has 3 PK goals this year. Okay, 3 PKs, that's not that many. And if you go back to that, how about the Brighton game, right? You mentioned the Brighton game. He only had a good season because 25 points at Brighton. Remove that game, he only drops from second to third behind Mbumo.
So he's the second most expensive, but he's not top 2?
If you take away 25 points in a game. My point is, take away his best game, he's still top 3, right? He doesn't have that many PKs, so he is getting a lot of point returns in other ways.
What's your argument? What's your argument?
My argument is all things considered, he's having a good season. The only piece that you can really rip on him for is the one piece he doesn't control himself, which is an FPL price. That's controlled by the game. It's too high for what he's doing. But
I have nothing against him as a player in real life.
He was having a good
uber
season.
Talented.
He's still by the end of the season, he's still going to be top 3, maybe top 2.
End of the season. Right now, you have managers that are literally playing an 11+ million guy who has 6 games without a return.
I agree with that. But if you're a manager
That's why who
has played him 6 games in a row, that's on you. You don't play a guy 6 games in a row without point returns. That's crazy.
Well, you have to play Palmer if you have him. You're not going to bench
My point
him.
is, if you still 51% of people, it's too high. We shouldn't have 51% of people owning.
Well, a lot of
guy
them
who's
are
on
probably
6.
dead accounts.
Okay,
or profiles.
so
Or
that's my
whatever.
point. Is a lot of people who are paying attention and fairly good at this have probably already made a move at some point. I'm just saying he's getting a lot of hate. I get it. He's having a bad stretch overall in the season. He's doing pretty well. The price is what hurts him. His price is too high for what he's doing. I agree with that.
I would argue that him not getting a return in 6 games is what hurts him.
Yeah, and then I would say that him still being second in points, take 25 away, still top 3, means he's still having a pretty good season, all things considered. Find me a mid you could take 25 points from and still be only 1 spot behind where they were. You're not going to do it.
Okay.
It's not going to happen. For all you Palmer lovers out there, there you go. Chelsea, don't hate on us.
That was
Don't
a
hate
winding road.
I'm taking the high ground here.
Yeah, take the high ground. I don't care.
Can
I want the win.
Can I talk about a 0?
Yeah, Dave.
And this
Absolutely.
is kind of my version of Palmer because I've been beating the drum for this guy all year.
Oh, I really hope. I really hope.
No,
I really hope it is who I think it is. Give me some satisfaction.
It's Antoine Semenyo.
Validation.
No.
Finally, some validation.
I'm mentioning it now because, like, obviously the underlying numbers are great, but he just can't score. And if you watch the Bournemouth game, he had that wide open header, like 4 yards from goal, and it's like you have to score. And of course, he hits the crossbar and doesn't score, and it just like epitomizes Semenyo.
Yeah.
Like he gets into great positions and has a million shots and never scores. And so, yeah, he had the 4th highest expected goals among midfielders this week too. So it's just like this is just the epitome of him as a fantasy player.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've been saying that for many a week, and to your point, right? To your credit, he is one of the most active and expected involvement players there is. But 102 total shots on a season, 33 of those were on target, 7 goals.
Do I see that right? His XFPL is $150 and he has 111 points.
Yes, he is almost 40 points behind his XFPL right now. So
you were right. You were right a long time ago, and I was not.
It's just sad to see because he could be having one of the crazier seasons for a guy that on a team like Bournemouth, not like a top 3 team. He could just be absolutely even if he was 10 over his XFPL, it's 160 points that puts him in top 5.
Yeah, I think the only people now I would want to use on Bournemouth are Kluivert and maybe Evan Nielsen.
Yeah,
but
Kluivert for sure.
I don't think Semenyo. I don't think I can do it. And Dango's kind of lost his place now, so
Yeah,
makes me sad to mark my boy as a 0, but
it happens.
it's the right thing to do.
All right, we got one more guy left to talk about, and this one is probably on me, frankly, because I was hyping that train. Unfortunately, I think the train got left in the station this week. Christopher Wood.
Not your boy Chris Wood.
Oh,
Listen, if you told me before the week started, oh yeah, Nottingham Forest, they won 4-2. Oh, sweet. How many points did Chris Wood get? Oh, big goose egg. Big goose egg. Was he involved? Not really. No, he really wasn't. It was sad. I think that's a big 0 because we already said it. Second most captain player, I'm pretty sure, this week. Chris Wood against Ipswich makes sense.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Makes sense. Oh, what is happening? Can one of you tell me why that happens so often?
What? He
Why
didn't score for once and you're sad?
Well, not for once. I feel like it's the games where you expect him to get something is when he doesn't. That could be a total just random feeling for me. I feel like every time, though, I'm like, oh, he's going to kill it this week.
Maybe he's experiencing that mathematical phenomenon known as regression.
yeah.
Maybe the 33-year-old age is catching up
score
with him
3
a
out of
little
every
bit.
5 times he touches the ball.
Well, I don't like that. Okay, I don't like that.
Well, let me appease your mind and
bring it back.
Chris Wood lover appeaser.
Give it back to me.
If you look at the entire season, Chris Wood at 7.3 million is still 4th in points, only 10 behind Palmer.
I see what you did there.
So,
Well,
don't worry. Chris Wood is still having a fantastic season.
he is. I didn't say it was a fantastic season. I just said he's a
I'm
0
kidding.
this week. He's a 0 this week.
I like what you did there, Phil.
Yeah,
that was nice.
I knew.
That was
I
nice.
knew.
Yeah, that was
I knew
clever.
what was coming.
Don't worry, Sean. He plays United in 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
Forrest will probably have 2
He still
shots.
said him forget.
He's got United, Villa.
Forrest will
Everton.
probably have 2 total shots, and they'll both be Wood goals. So don't worry about
They
it.
actually don't have a hard. I mean, I shouldn't say that. They have a pretty easy schedule until the last week against Chelsea, who. I mean,
wouldn't
even
consider
that.
tough.
Yeah, that's probably the toughest game they have left, but even that's not. They don't have it. None of the big dogs left. They don't have one team in the top.
Set him
Four.
for good.
Yeah, they're not playing any teams in the. Well, Chelsea would be the one, but by the end of the season, I don't
Is
think
that
they're going to
home
be
or
in the
away?
top 4. Chelsea game, home, last game of the season.
Take that.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. All right. Yeah. Okay. Heroes and zeros.
Heroes and zeros and heroes.
Good segment. Good segment.
Great
I love it.
segment.
Great segment. Perfect-
Fantastic segment.
Perfect segment. Perfect segment.
We hope you enjoyed, though.
We do hope you enjoy. We're out of here though. That's all I got. So
Howdy.
find us on Instagram. Find us on X.
Twitter.
Find us on Spotify.
YouTube.
Well, we're on YouTube if they're watching. Come on now. They could be listening, so fair enough. Find us on YouTube. And if you are on YouTube,
Like and
comment, subscribe. Phil, why would they ever do that?
Because it's free. It doesn't cost you anything.
It's super, super free.
super simple.
Super free. Super free. And send us any comments. We love to hear from everybody. We want to talk to you. Feedback. Just want to talk, whatever. Leave a comment on the video. Hit us up on Instagram or X.
Twitter. Tell us who's right about Palmer. Is he a 0 or is he a hero?
That's a fair question. Someone tell us. Someone give us the feedback
Is
on that
Palmer
one.
a hero or a 0?
All right. And with that, I didn't like that. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.